Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to Aether Raids, day 5 I believe, and we're up against somebody with a legendary Alm lead from tier 24. I'm not going to read their name because I think they just literally posted their friend code, so we can go ahead and check that out after the match is over, but this defense team is interesting in a few ways. First aspect is that this team is heavily invested, plus 10 legendary Alm. I guess I should actually check out their status screen, because I've kind of forgotten to do so in my previous videos, but plus 10, plus 5 legendary Alm, plus 10, plus 5 Duo Alfonse, plus 3 legendary Chrom. He's not as heavily invested into, and to be frank, this would have been a lot scarier to me if this legendary Chrom had retained his base kit with close counter and lull attack defense, but that's just me. And this plus 10, plus 3 dual Alm. There's also this legendary Zura, but she, aside from mobility, she doesn't really provide too much else, especially since there are no visible buffs going on aside from like this rally up attack. But since Duo Alfonse is up in the front, I'm not exactly sure why he would be the one rallying. So this is just like a weirdly set up infantry pulse team. Not to mention that the HP values are kind of all over the place. So one would have expected Duo Alfonse to like get at least one infantry pulse so he has instant open the future. But for some reason he's running like pulse smoke and HP defense. Granted, he's blessed for light, but I don't know, I would have expected him to have a separate, build for him on a defense team, but I digress. It's also not concurrently water or earth season, so nobody here gets any bonuses from Sothis. And so lift loss reduction is also bare minimum, if at all. I'm not exactly sure because I don't run defense mythics myself, so somebody can tell me in the comments how that works out. And just based on this, Duo Alm provides legendary Alm with 1 turn cooldown on his Lunar Flash, but it's not ready. And legendary Chrom's the only one who really has his special ready with Drago and Agora, thanks to legendary Alm and Duo Alm's Infantry Pulse and Times Pulse. So that's why I think if this Chrom had close counter, player phasing him would have been a lot scarier. But since he doesn't, and literally the tiles adjacent to most of these units are like clear, I can attempt to Gale Force this. And I've done the calcs. Brave Roy can take out the Alms, and legendary Hector can take out the Alphonse and the Chrom. And thanks to Tactics Room, Alphonse loses some range, so it actually becomes much easier for me to get rid of these traps, because otherwise I probably would have had to clear these columns of structures so that I could approach from the sides instead of having to maneuver around the traps, and that would have probably taken a lot more time. But since we can test the traps, I'm going to use that to my advantage and see if I can't drop Roy into Wings of Mercy range with assistance from Fury recoil damage. And in case the lightning trap only does 10, it is Bolt Tower bonus season, so I can just park Roy here to take an extra 10 damage, so that he gets a guaranteed Wings of Mercy from Peony, basically. And the only thing I really had to keep an eye out for was that this Bright Shrine would affect my Brave Roy. So if I didn't destroy this, and I wanted to initiate on the Duo Alm, what would have to happen is that Peony has to provide Cardinal buffs from her Flower of Joy, I believe, so that Roy has enough speed to double Alm naturally. And that's a viable strategy because none of these units are actually receiving extra res from Sothis. Though I'm not actually sure that would have mattered, because even with the 5 extra res, Air has like 38 res, so that still would have allowed Tamari to debuff their attack and speed. So that's something to, I suppose, take note of. And yeah, so I can have Brave Roy take out the Alms. I can have Hector take out the Alphonse and the Crom, thanks to color advantage. And after Roy takes out 2 units, he should be in Wings of Mercy range so that Peony can dance, and I can take out this Azura. And all that would be left is this corner Sothis, who has her Sirius ready. But at that point, Roy should be in Desperation range as well, so it shouldn't be a problem. So all in all, this team is really high investment, but it's not optimal, and it could have been a lot scarier with a different set of skills, I think. But yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so Hinata's Panic Ploy doesn't actually matter here, and when testing these traps, I do want to try and keep Hector healthy, so I'm going to keep him away. Maybe here? Because that Bolt Tower does kind of hit this bottom row, and I don't exactly want to place Hector all by himself with the structures. It'll be a little hard to get him into position later on, so I think it would just be best if I tested the traps with Hinata. So in order to test this one, I most likely would have to have broken these 2 structures, and then let's see, that's his range after Tactics Room. I could repo Hinata onto this tile, smite him up, have him move back here, and then use Peony to dance so that Roy can repo Hinata to safety. And then from there, after having tested both of these traps, I'll see if it's necessary for Roy to park below the Bolt Tower to take some extra damage or not. But after that, Hector now has a clear lane to engage Alphonse from, and I probably have Roy engage from the right, just because I've basically been approaching from the right side of the map the whole time. So I think that's how we're going to go about doing this, and yeah. We'll figure out some of the finer details along the way. So that was the fake trap, that's fine. Okay, so go ahead and break this first, repo Hinata out of there, get Air into position, and Peony into position. And I actually don't really need the Bolt Tower here, so I could just wait for the Healing Tower to basically restore everybody, because I do think I need to get 2 hits in on some of these units to trigger Gale Force, and so Bolt Tower would actually be detrimental if the damage is left alone. And so depending on how much damage this Lightning Trap does to this person's own team, I may have to wait a bit more, but we'll see what happens. So go ahead and smite. Okay, so that was a 50 damage trap. Alright, and go ahead and pull back then, I suppose. Alright, let's get Hinata out of there and get Hector into position. So, from here, following turns, I'd want to clear out these 2 structures so that Roy has a clear lane at this Duo Alm. I do need the Alphonse to be healthy so that Hector can get 2 hits in. So, at the very least, I think I'm going to have to wait at least 2 more turns so I can He'll heal once on enemy phase turn 3 and heal another time on enemy phase turn 4. So the earliest I think I can make my move is turn 5.
Let's get moving.
So that shouldn't be a problem.
The fight is on.
Let's see. If I have Peony destroy this, she's not in range of the Alm or the Crom, so should be fine. I guess I have 2 turns to work with, so it's not all that bad. Okay.
Got it.
Good morning. Good dreams are born.
You sure?
Alright, and
Got it.
let's see. Roy would want to park here on turn 4 so he could be able to reach this Alm on turn 5. So on turn 4, I mean, Peony's going to have to destroy that now. So then... Okay, so I guess I could just have Peony attack, or break that Aether Fountain, and then have Hinata draw her back, so Roy can park there afterwards, so that's fine. Alright, and we're going to have to wait like 2 more turns, so that Alphonse is healthy enough to take 2 hits from Hector. Let's see. So I suspect that Roy should heal for 10 more HP from Air's Sparkling Boost, but if he enters combat twice with 34 HP, he'll drop down to at least 22, I believe. So that should be more than enough for Wings of Mercy. And yeah.
Ready.
Got it.
Okay, so that's
Got it.
1. And let's go ahead and give Roy the defense tactics buffs for the heck of it. Okay, if my calculations were correct, Hector should deal 37 damage per hit on this Alphonse. So we'll go ahead and see if that was right. Doesn't matter that that was the real trap. Okay, so 37 damage, perfect.
The fight is on.
And Roy can indeed double this Alm, so... Okay, so Hector can go first. And thanks to Alphonse doing damage to Hector, Hector's no longer at 100% HP, thus nullifying the attack and defense in-combat debuffs from Crom's Rangrithier, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Let's get moving.
So, there's another one. And I think that would have actually mattered a lot more if this person had carried low attack defense and close counter, because I think that would actually prevent Hector from one-shotting that Crom, even with like a Savage Blow, but since that's not the case, I guess that's just like a what-if scenario. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take out the Alm now. We'll go ahead and dance Hector, because he needs some more SP. I've been a bit lazy in grinding SP for some of my units, so we'll go ahead and give him the honors here. And Hinata doesn't really need to do anything after this. from here, let's see, 75%. 52 divided by 4, that's 13. So I suspect it's 13. Oh no, okay. Roy is in desperation range because he's taken 22 damage. Alright, so we'll go ahead and break this then, and
Good dreams are born.
finish off the surface with Roy. Sorry if I don't really sound as energetic today. I'm just, I haven't really slept too well last night, so turns out I didn't even need the desperation. Roy just one-shotted the Sothis, so alright, we'll take those. And that was it for today's match. I'm going to go ahead and cut here, and just for fun, I'm not going to send a request, but for fun, I'll cut back once I'm ready to look up this guy's friend code. So, yeah, look forward to that, I guess.